Hello and welcome to another edition of the Eternal Journey. I am That Resolves and this is Primal Icaria. Yes, in 2018. So this is the Sharvers deck and they made the top 8 of the Invitational, and what a hero. They made it with 2 decks that were like the same faction pair, because they made it not only with this, but they made it with 2 combat decks, just like no overlapping cards, which is pretty nice actually if you ask me, that they were able to do that. But as I was talking to Grimfan yesterday in their stream, which you should definitely check out, I will put a link to it in the description below. But we were just saying like how we think that the best home for Rizahn just must be like a Primal Icaria deck, because you've just got so many spells that it's just always going to have lifesteal, and it's just so crushing for you like as an opponent of this style of deck. If you're like trying to play a weenie beatdown deck and your opponent just like goes like Hailstorm into at some point later like Rizahn, or you just go like Harsh Rule into Rizahn, it's just like such a backbreaking experience, because you know Harsh Rule happened, it wiped your board, and then you like tried to rebuild. Your opponent played this huge lifesteal threat that killed one of the things that you tried to rebuild with, and then they've just got like this huge game-ending win condition in play. You know, it's just absolutely absurd. And again, it's an Icaria deck. There's definitely like a flaw to like how bad a deck can be when it's got Icaria in it, because Icaria is like the premier win condition. And there's also like we've got other things in here as well. We've got Hailstorm plus Harsh Rule. Like how bad can your deck be when it's got those two? Because those are like the best sweepers right now. If you're playing against like tokens, like Stone Sky Aggro, like the Stone Sky Aggro deck is going a little bit slower now because it's going like more weapons focused, and it's trying to play with the merchant, just have really consistent queens and highwaymans. You know, they just give you like that little bit of an inch, and when someone gives you an inch in a card game, you just take a mile. You want to just really go on top of them, go around them. You know, just want to get there and get the game ended. We are a little bit lighter on weapons. I mean, pre-Teacher nerf, or you know, because Teacher's unchanged basically. The ways from Teacher basically. Most of the times where I've scooped to having disciplinary rates, it wouldn't matter if it had been cost 1 more. You know, just having that on you that makes your spells cost more just makes you much more inefficient, and then you're just dying to like whatever random beaters that they put next. You know, just go like 3-3 into 4-4 into 5-5 into 6-6, you're dead anyway. It just doesn't matter. But when Teacher was at the forefront of people's minds, I did like this deck to play Sword of Icaria just because you have more ways of dealing with it, as well as maybe even sometimes like an Island's Choice. Well, Island's Favour actually, because when you have face ages, like the weights, the infiltrate trigger happens, but the weights don't go on you, and no one gets to draw a card. Anyway, enough of nonsense. Let's get on to the games. This deck is sweet. I'm absolutely over the moon that I can still play one of the decks that I first built when I first started to play this game. So let's get on to it. Okay, here we are, and this sounds rough. We've got a lot of card selection here. We've got like the Strategize and the Wisdom, as well as the Crest on the play. But I think realistically this is probably a redraw, even though we do have the Permafrost to sort of interact with our opponent. And this is sort of medium as well. I mean, we've got seats here. Probably going to be fetching up with Justice. Having the Privilege rank is going to be quite nice here, because this will allow us just to find like, oh, even better, get a Crest of Order. I think we'll just fire the Crest of Order off first, and I think I will actually keep Rizahn. We're against Praxis here, so the whole Harsh Rule into Rizahn isn't quite as good. But if this is like Praxis tokens or something, I'm super happy with that. Okay, well, we're just touching this, just get out of here. Now, Teacher is slightly worse than she previously was, but it's still absolutely a nonsense card to be dealing with. I think I'm just going to hang fire in the Strategize. I like everything in our hand. I'd much rather like using it to find something. Sort of tempted, like with the way the hand has run out, just to Hailstorm this Teacher, just get rid of it. The opponent's got a fast spell, so I'm going to assume that this is just a Torch here. Torch isn't going to do too much against us realistically. There's our main ways of actually winning the game, just don't care about that as a card. But here's what I was perhaps saying on like the preamble of the deck, is that not only do we have like the most consistent Rizahns, but we have like the most consistent Rizahn with lifesteal, just because we've been able to play so many spells. I think I'm just going to try and set up like hitting the power from next turn. With the Crest Glory here, we get like another look as well. So ideally here, we'll just like draw 2 power bottom one. Then, So this is interesting here. I think we don't want the torch because actually we won't be able to set it up anyway. Let's pop the Crest of Fury here because now we get to Crest of Glory. Try and find Undepleted Power. We'll bottom this and then I think I will just torch this. So I've probably still got the fast effect here because they do have the torch themselves. So if we'd have bottomed the torch there, we'd have crested and still wouldn't have been able to play Rizahn now. So I'm just going to Wisdom now just to try and hit our power, because now even if we hit a Crest, we're still able to play it, and then next turn we'll be able to sort of, there we go. So perfect. And if our opponent plays something like a Sandstorm Titan, it's not a huge issue. Permafrost could also be quite good if they've got like a sort of Willbearer behind, so I think we'll keep that. But for the most part here, I think we should be able to lock the game up because the opponent just plays Trailmaker now. We are just going to shoot that down. Our phone is going wild here. So let's put that on mute for a moment. Yeah, so we do just get to shoot the Trailmaker down. I feel like our opponent's got hand just like full of 5s or something. Have they got double torch? Okay, well, double torch is nice. We got 2 cards out, which is pretty good. This also explains what our opponent's been up to. Like, they must have just have a hand that's like full of this sort of interaction that doesn't do anything. I'm going to assume that our opponent does have like 1 or 2 5-drops that they've just not been able to deploy though. 5-drops I think we'll actually keep the Justice Sigil because that'll put us in a position where we should be able to like Permafrost plus Icaria if it's not a Sandstorm Titan. Otherwise, I guess we are taking the turn off just to bin it. So Owlhead is a nuisance and does actually need to be answered. I think though we might just end the story here. I think we can let our opponent have a turn though. Yeah, we'll just Permafrost here. We're going to attack Icaria. We're going to have another Icaria next turn. If our opponent just like snipes the 12-12 Carnosaur, it's mostly fine anyway, because even as a 6-6 it would have killed our Icaria, but we are managing to get some value here. This is sort of also fine. I think I will just Wrath now though, just get the end of the story out of here. And if we sort of hit another Undepleted Power here, even if our opponent plays like a Sandstorm Titan, we can deploy our Vanquish along with the Icaria, which is pretty nice actually. So, just for attack here. I'm at the point now where I've got 8 power in play, so if our opponent wants to attack us with the Teacher and like give us an extra card, I'm sort of fine with it because I feel like we've got our board pretty much covered. We do have a bunch of Warcries on top here as well. We should have like a +10, like that not blocking there. It's just like not happening. The reason that's like a nuisance now, and we hit bows, it's fine. So we're at 9. The only reason that's a nuisance is if like we really need to grab something like an Icaria from here, but we're at the point where even it costing 2 more isn't like the end of the world really. And whatever draw is going to play anyway. Like we're at 9. Got no card drawer like in hand. I am going to snap off this Seek Power though. So our opponent has a fast spell again. I feel like that they are not winning this race. So from Fire Sigil, just get a little bit of value off our privilege rank though. I really don't want to draw a privilege. Yeah, the Vanquish here is just going to be just to take out Sandstorm Titan. Literally don't care about taking 6 here. Okay, so they've got like they've established the lock. They've got the combo here. So we are going to draw an additional card with Lunamagus, and that will cost more. But at the point we've got 10 power, like who really cares? Yeah, we'll just like didn't draw anything anyway. So put our opponent to 6. Still not going to pull the trigger on this Vanquish. Like this Temple Scribe's not going to like get us. Our opponent gaining like a bunch of life is a bit of a nuisance, but Hailstorm couldn't have done anything there anyway. But we realistically just have like so many Warcries now that as soon as we draw something that is actually like gas here, we should be in great shape. It's going to block the free because it's basically free. I think our opponent's just trying to push damage there, which is something that they need to do because as soon as we draw something that's fire. Okay, so this is nice because now they get to Heart of the Vault and the torch that we know they've got in their hand gets to finish off our Icaria. Yep, that's fine. So now we're actually in trouble at this point because we do need to like just draw like our thing that is Warcry with +15. Okay, well 22-22 win Chest Merchant. I mean, I'm not sure about you, but I think that this dude's probably going to do the job. Let's just spin this Primal Sigil, don't need it. And I think we just grab Rizahn, because Rizahn will cost 8 now. Yeah, so we can actually just play Rizahn. Just like, kill this, like, whatever. But we get to go up to 11, which is the sort of important thing here. I don't think that our opponent is playing Praxis Displacer because that card's really gone out of favour now that it costs 5. Still really good, now it's a 3-3 instead of a 3-2, but like the extra 1 cost means it's very hard to justify having that in your deck. I mean, attack with a 1-1 sort of aggressive, but I suppose we'll just like make our blocks. Let's go up to 16. I don't suspect anything's going to go wrong here. Like, I'm probably not playing like Praxis Wrath or anything. But yeah, that's pretty much how we expect this sort of game to go against the time deck. Like, we managed to just wrath the board at some point, and then we're just getting for a bunch of hits with Icaria and our opponent's dead. Top 10 Master, look at that. Well, if I was on the play, I'd probably keep this just because I'm incredibly greedy with 2 crests into like Auric Runehammer. But I think in the real world, probably just can't keep that. You need like some actual interaction. This is sort of fine. We'll be able to pick up enough fire sources along the way to be able to slam the Icaria. And, well. I'm going to play the Seat of Fury first. And I think just to buy us time and just stop our opponent from let's have a million Warcries. I do hate just like permafrosting like random Oni Ronins. Okay, playing against Stonescar Sissy is sort of fine. This has managed to slow him down enough. We'll crest here, try and find something like a Hailstorm, although we won't be playing it quite yet. And we did bottom like a fire source there. But with this wisdom, we should be able to find one that we need anyway. And I generally... Okay, well, we've got Rizahn, so we should be okay here. Just going to fire off this wisdom at our opponent's turn. Just make them consider Torch or something like that. Okay, so opponent is incredibly smart and thin here. They're using the hideout pistol just as like a deal damage, which is generally what you want to do in this matchup, because if it gets to the point where like I put something in play for you to be able to hide out pistol, then you are in pretty rough shape anyway. But luckily for us, we drew Vanquish, which meant that we're able to deal with that threat. We'll grab the Fire Sigil now. So this is going to be... Okay, so we're taking a bit of damage here. We're taking, what, here, 7? If we survive the next turn, we should be in great shape because we're just going to be playing a Rizahn. So let's fire this off. Harshal is nice as like a reset if I just, I don't know, if to play like assembly line here. But Hideout Pistol's good. We are taking a bit more damage here. We're taking 7. If our opponent's got Torch, we're dead. But if they don't, which it looks like they don't, just play the Fire Source, just to be super spicy. We'll just shoot down this. So now we're at 6 and we've got this 5-4. No matter what, if our opponent attacks, we block. Like, oh boy. So that puts us to 4. We gain 5, block 2 points. This isn't great for us. We only just didn't die there. So actually, I think what we're going to do is we're going to play Winchester Merchant because this leaves us a body in play. We're going to Fire Sigil here to get Vanquish. I feel like what we should have done actually is just get a Rizahn. But because that'd be the next turn cycle before we're able to gain the life anyway, just like, I think I'm sort of happy just to slam carry it. Now, attacking for 7, what does that do for us? Well, we attack for 7 anyway, because next time we're going to be attacking for 12. We're on a tight edge here because our opponent can draw like charge threats as well as burn spells. Okay, opponent's giving it up. They weren't dead destroyed like draws. They've only shown us like 1 torch. Well, definitely top 10 now. Okay, well, this sounds a lot more powerful than it looks like because we do have like the Seeks in here along with the Crest. But I think honestly we can just do a little bit better. So I will just redraw this. And I think this is actually better because we have the 2 power here, like I think we're just going to try and find power with this. Nope, not Icaria. So I do hate just like bottoming win conditions, but because we've got like one in the market, we should be okay. Oh yes, even better there. So now we get to play this Crest, and then next turn probably going to be Strategize, find power. So Stone Scar does lead me to believe that Hailstorm will be good at some point. So I will keep that, but I'm very open to just strategizing that to the bottom next turn in the sort of the search for power. Just get rid of this now. I just saw in the last game, we just want to stop the Warcries because it stops our opponent from just being able to do anything ridiculous. I don't think we'll need an actual second Harsh Rule here because one Harsh Rule plus Merchant for Rizahn should be enough. And right now, all of influence is looking pretty perfect. Don't think we need like millions of Hailstorms. I think like one of each effect, and we do have access to another health. Like we have another Harsh Rule if we really need it. Okay, so we're just like Harsh Rule flooded. Permanent Fire Day. Okay, Crest of Glory. I think now we're just going to do nice and slowly. Just keep our opponent off board because I'm pretty certain I know which version of the Stone Scar Gunslingers this is. And I think this is like the weapon-centric version. So this, I think it's playing like, if it's not playing Azaleo, then it's playing at least 8 weapons anyway. That just, whilst our opponent's not got a threat in play, they're just going to have things that just can't do anything in the hand. Okay, Ixton Merchant's probably just like fetching up some sort of threat here. But if this is just like Highwayman, we're still get to block with the 2-2, so we're sort of fine. Okay, so the 6 sauce is great. How many? We've got 3 spells in here, so that's nice. I think I'm actually just going to bin off this Harsh Rule. I'm going to grab the Rizahn. Because the thing we want to do here as well is we want to like turn the corner as soon as possible. Our opponent does have Hideout Pistol in their deck, but we're going to get some value with the Rizahn. So if our opponent plays a Gunslinger next, which I'm going to suspect that they've grabbed either Queen or... Okay, just attacking it. I mean, they might have got... Okay, so we have to kill the Gunslingers here because we don't want Hideout Pistol to be like turned on. So this isn't blocking anyway, so we're just going to attack with it. So we want to prioritize, even though the Volcano Outlaw is smaller, it's a Gunslinger and the Gunslinger attack matters because of Hideout Pistol, but also it's harder to block because if our opponent attacks with both of these, we obviously want to block the smaller one, but because of like any sort of fast spell, we don't want to just lose our threat, so we end up like having some unblockable 2-2 in play anyway. Okay, so here's the Highwayman, which we sort of expected. So they do this here so that we don't get to block. I think we actually just don't block. We take 7, gets a crackback for 7, but we're going to gain 5. I'll probably guess Warcry, just like, whatever. Okay, well, we're in just excellent shape here. We are just going to be using this Runehammer just to kill this 4-2. I'm aware that we are going to lose it. But now our opponent's lost their like way of generating Warcries, and it's like their thing that could have a highway pistol that could kill Rizahn. What's sort of nice is that I think that next we will be grabbing the Icaria here. Okay, well, they get to do this again, but our opponent's getting pretty close to dead here. I'm not entirely certain whether we'll ever need this Harsh Rule, but I don't want to be too aggressive. I'm going to grab the Permafrost, just stick that on there, just get out of here. That can still wear a hidden pistol. I'm going to grab a carry though, just because that should end the game along with our 2/2/2s. We've got our opponent on like a really quick clock, so even if they do like put hideout pistol here, attack us for free, we still get to attack them for 4 and attack them for 4 again, so they are on a 2-turn clock, even if they deal with Rizahn. But this is just what I was saying before, like in the preamble bit, and what I was saying to Grim from yesterday. You should really check out their stream actually. I might link to it in the down below bit, because they are getting pretty close to partner. Okay, so this is what we're talking about was going to be happening. It's basically that we want to prioritize killing these. So maybe even I should have just merchanted just to, you know, like vanquish this and just remove our opponent's options of having like a gunslinger in play. So right here, just like same, just attack for 2. Don't need to use the Vanquish. What's the maximum we're going to be taking here? We're taking 3 if our opponent gets like a queen. There's another 3 and then another 3 on top. Just not killing us. So we're live to quite a lot of things here. Our opponent just like needs to kill one of these. Pistol's annoying, but then we get to deal with whatever that is and deal a point of damage to our opponent with the Vanquish. But I'm happy. If this is just like take 6, like we're in just really good shape here. Because our opponent's at 4 and we've got, you know, 4 power in the air. So make him move. Yeah. Opponent obviously just can't deal with it. But I suppose that's just the power of having a Rizahn that's basically very consistent on curve and always turned on with lifesteal. It's just absolutely backbreaking for some decks to deal with. Okay, so here we're on the play again. I actually do like this hand. If we're against the controller, it could be in trouble because we don't have like any actual card draw, but I'm sure if like just one Crest, should be able to find it. Just missed up this for the other Crest, but I will keep this. If we're against an aggro deck, we're just going to like curve Hailstorm into Hammer into Harshot. It's just going to be so demoralizing to actually play against. I've just got like all this underplate power. Yeah, I'm just snapping off Rizahn. Rizahn isn't like turned on, but you know, we've got enough stuff going on here that we should be in good shape anyway. I'm just going to play out the Crest, well, these seats anyway. Basically free whichever one we do. Okay, so this dude's a bit of a nuisance. I'm not going to snap off the Hailstorm here. This will be a nuisance later on, but we've got the Runehammer to sort of sort this out next turn. Our opponent doesn't do anything that threatens us, but if they just play the Unseen Commando here, which is like a very realistic play. Okay, well, they've got the Genid Merchant here. We can actually just deal with our opponent's entire board by just like going Permafrost plus Hailstorm here. Yeah, with like a backup, I think I will do that. Let's kill both our opponent's threats. It cost us 2 cards to kill 2 things, but we killed one thing that had Aegis, so I feel like we're quite good there. I'm not sure how the actual Hero like Flyers matchup will be because these merchants can just grab stuff like Unseal or Backlash, and it's going to be pretty bad against us trying to get in there for like expensive stuff like Casual. We do get to just Runehammer this. Ideal draw for us would be a Crest, just because that'll help us to set up this Rizahn. Just try and find us more power. Okay, well, end of the story. So this is the bad thing about warp cards, is that you can see them on top of your deck when you want to draw power, and it's just like the most demoralizing thing. So if I probably play Sheltering Rider, we're in a little bit of rough shape, but we are able to just like pop it with Permafrost, so let's keep it busy. There isn't any way, I believe, in this deck currently where they're able to like turn the Aegis back on, so once you've popped it, like it is a dead card at that point. So there we go, one step closer to Rizahn. Rizahn's probably going to be too excellent against our opponent here because they do, I think this version does play Island, which is able to turn it off, as well as just having cards like Vanquish, which are just able to just pop your Rizahn. And if we're not able to play Rizahn and get value, it's a little bit sad here. But we're actually just doing so much damage to our opponent that just like the showing up and dealing free to our opponent's face could be pretty great here. Okay, so they've turned our spells off, which is sort of fine because like Permafrost and Rizahn are still live. So, okay. Well, I'm just going to Permafrost this, that's sort of fine. So, unit plus weapon, we did get sort of a 2-1 there. I mean, we weren't playing anything from hand anyway. Okay, so just playing the Linebreaker's Shield here. Yep, gives it endurance, gets to kill our thing. Linebreaker's Shield's good. Yeah, so the mirror image there is actually pretty gross. But if we draw Underplate Power, which we do, because we're just, you know, geniuses, what can I say? I'm going to fire off 3 points to our opponent's face. Did we have lifesteal? Didn't check out life total, but okay, so our opponent gets to do this now. I want them really to tap out for this because then I feel like we can just fire off this end of the story. Our opponent's probably got something like a Backlash here, in which case we're dead. But we can't just not go for it, that would be nonsense. So I'm going to go for the most expensive one, just because it's got the nicest sort of visual effects. Oh, our opponent just didn't have it. Excellent. We should be in good shape then, because we should be able to just finish our opponent off with the Icaria. So I didn't... So this is rough. I didn't feel like there was a pause there. So I think we can actually just get away with like attack with Icaria, block with Icaria next turn. So there's definitely an argument just for Runehammer there, because if our opponent does have a fast effect that enables them to like negate the Runehammer. They won't gain life because we are invulnerable to damage. But so what happens here, I think, is that we just do the thing we're going to talk about last turn. We're just going to Runehammer all these. They won't gain life from it. We'll get to check them for a fast spell. But also, if they did do something like Finest Hour to get them out of range of the hammer, we'd then be able to put the Vanquish down and kill the threat. Well, it won anyway, so... Okay, here on the last game. Hopefully we can finish this off with a nice 5-0 streak. That'd be pretty nice. I actually do like this hand. We're on the draw, but we still get to just like torch their first play and then just play Wisdom of the Elders. That should draw us into enough power where we're able to stabilize with the Rizahn and just like have enough, spells in the void to have this dude. Okay, so playing as like a time deck again, so we should be in reasonable shape here. Don't really need to just like, I think I can play the Crest first. I'm just going to top a power because I think that's pretty much just what we're looking for. Okay, so now we've got like the additional Icaria, we definitely need power. So Winchester Merchant isn't actually power in this deck. I mean, it is Harsh, which could need, but, just going to bottom this. So if our opponent plays Teacher here, I'm sort of fine with not torching it on... Okay, well, Initiate's fine as well. So killing one of these doesn't do too much, actually. So they could make a 5, in which case we'll just Vanquish the 5. That's sort of fine. I think if their Teacher would just played it, what was their power looking like? Yes, it was practice spending, they couldn't have played it. I'm going to allow our opponent to have a turn here. I'm probably just going to kill these if they don't make like a Teacher. Okay, so they've just got like a really sort of hand that is just like dead to Hailstorm or... Okay, so here's the Merchant, just like looking for an actual threat to try and kill us with. Unfortunately, we've got like that pretty well covered. I think if we can actually just like find Harsh Rule, like our opponent is just in like the worst shape. So they're up to 6, next turn they could potentially 7, but it's like, what are they going to do? I'm not entirely sure what they could do. I'd like to leave ourselves open to just like drawing Hailstorm, it would be perfect. I am just going to, play the Wisdom on our opponent's turn. You don't have to play fast spells, but like, what's our opponent going to do? Just having, okay, so this is actually tokens, which is nice. So we just take a bunch of damage here. We do get to like Vanquish this next. So we take 8, sort of 5, taking 8. Okay, so we get to Vanquish plus Torch, and we get to sort of set up. Okay, so let's Vanquish this. Now we'll just Torch one of these, I guess, because it knocks off power, because this is like an actual tokens deck, so we do need to consider things like that. Crest of Order isn't great, but it is power that sort of helps us get towards Rizahn. We do have 2 interactive spells, so we've got the Permafrost plus the Vanquish. If our opponent plays like another Monitor, it's not the end of the world. We do take a reasonable amount of damage though. But in that case, the plan is just like Vanquish the thing and Permafrost the other thing. Okay, so this is fine here. We're not having the best turn in the world because we do have to like Permafrost a power unit. Okay, so we'll keep the Fire Sigil because this is perfect. This lets us stabilize next turn. So we get to Vanquish this. Permafrost, this one just got like the most reasonable body. We're basically just being able to answer every single one of our opponent's threats. So just left with like some 1/1s in play. Another reason to not like Permafrost the 1s as well is because we've got Rizahn and we just want to get some value off the ability as well. So when Rizahn pops up next turn, it's going to kill one of these 1/1s. If we draw another Rizahn, we'd want Let's Kill Leave one. If we leave the 1/4 like as a thing that's in play. Okay, so right now we're actually just going to shoot down this free. Attacking our opponent's mana is less a priority than just like attacking the things that are going to kill us. So we'll just shoot down the free. We get to go up to 13 here. Now our opponent's last card in hand could be something like a Purifier, which would be a bit of a nuisance. But then we just like snap block with the... Yeah, so they're targeting Rizahn here. I can see them highlighting it because he's gone a little bit blue. But if our opponent has to like... Okay, so Assemble Line's even better. So it must have just been reading Rizahn to see if it had lifesteal. Okay, well, this is pretty much perfect for us. We get to go up to 18 now. Our opponent's very live for something like Rally. But just like Rizahn into Icaria with like a load of like spot removal. Like we should be able to just like snap win this. So Obelisk could be doing pretty good for our opponent there because they've been able to do a real huge chunk of damage, but we're just going to block whatever's biggest actually. It's like, doesn't matter, take 2, 4, 6, but we're going to be gaining 5 next turn, and we're attacking our opponent for 15, so they're dead. But let's have a Crest and just see, here's what you could have won with the Warcry. I do enjoy seeing the Warcry unit just before I get in there. Rise up, be cut down. Just enjoy how well these play together, especially considering I believe there's like some story implication to it. But that's basically it. You play some sort of interactive spells, and then you play Rizahn and Icaria, but it's dead. Like, I really enjoyed Primal Icaria, and I feel like it's just such a good dust investment. This is still good. Like in 2018, 2 years after I started playing this deck is still fine. It's just fantastic. Okay, so there we have it. Pretty much everything that was covered in the preamble came true. We're just playing the most consistent Rizahn deck. Rizahn's actually, when I first saw this, I was like, that's a bit 6. It's a 5/4, which is fine, it's good. Reckless, I'm a little bit sad about, but it does stop you from misplaying because you might not have attacked with your huge lifesteal flyer. Lifesteal is great, and in this deck, it's very consistent at happening because it's got so much in, like, our cheap interaction is like all spells, it's like Seek Power, which isn't interaction, but it helps further our game plan. We've got stuff like Torch, Vanquish, Privilege Rank, Hailstorm, Harshwell, all of it spells, and you need to have pretty much played 3 of these just to survive to turn 6 in this sort of game. You can't just like sit there and not do anything, just expect to stabilize with your big flyer. This isn't like Magic the Gathering 2010 or whatever. But yeah, this deck, as I just keep saying, I'm just very impressed that our dust investments that we made like in late 2016 or whatever, when we made our Icarias, are still good now. Maybe this is actually indicative of a bigger problem, and I'm just putting a positive spin on it for you. The Icaria is still the best finisher, in like 2 years later. Set 4, set 5 will be in like 3 months or whatever. But, as far as we know, we are getting like a rotation of sorts in set 5, so that problem will be gone. I don't think we'll be getting a sort of a core set of cards that are always in, because we do like rotation, we like change, gives us more things to discuss and more things to move forward with. But I'm pretty excited that this also means that we should be getting something like a wild format or a modern format where we're able to play for all cards. And if from a greedy point of view, I get to master in 2 ranked metagames that I don't have to touch draft at all or any sort of limited format. But also, like from a content creator's point of view, having 2 formats to cover, like that are constructed, is just really good as well, because generally like wild formats are easier for newer players or players who can't can't invest as much time. So I'm pretty happy from that point of view if that is what's happening. I'm hoping it's not just like on-off leagues that you get to play with all this, because I do like to really hammer these sort of older formats. Anyway, thanks for watching. I've been That Resolves. Thanks for watching, and I guess I'll see you around.